Back up, buddy. You smell like a dumpster. God, they let anyone work here now. I'm calling the health department. Here's $20. Buy some soap or a bus ticket out of Seattle. The lawyer throws cash at Marcus's feet. Marcus is cleaning tables, wearing torn clothes, invisible to everyone. 40 customers keep scrolling. Nobody looks up. Then, "Excuse me!" A woman in a paint-stained hoodie stands up, hands shaking. "He's a person. What's your name?" "Marcus," he whispers. She pulls out $500 bills, everything she has. "This is for Marcus, and you can choke on your $20. The manager rushes over. "Ma'am, you're banned." "Good." She presses the money into Marcus's hand. "You deserve better." She walks out. The lawyer smirks. Crazy. Marcus stands. His voice changes. Educated. Cold. "You know what's funny? I own this building, and 47 others. Security will escort you out now." He pulls out an iPhone 15 Pro, shows the screen. The lawyer's face goes white. "That woman just saved your life, because you're not just a lawyer, are you?" Marcus walks out, looking for her. Because what he doesn't know, that lawyer was a hired hitman, and Maya just became a witness. This is the story of the $500 tip that started a war, where a struggling artist defended a homeless man and uncovered a $2.3 billion conspiracy. Maya Chen had exactly $523.67 in her checking account. She knew the precise number because she'd checked it 4 times that morning, each time hoping the digits would magically rearrange themselves into something more survivable. They didn't. Rent was due in 3 days. Her mother's medication cost $380, and the gallery submission fee she'd been saving for, $150 she didn't have. But here she was, sitting in Common Grounds coffee shop on a rainy Wednesday afternoon, nursing a small black coffee, $2.50, the cheapest thing on the menu, because this place had decent Wi-Fi and didn't kick out laptop campers. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, responding to her 7th freelance graphic design rejection email that week. "We've decided to go with a candidate with more commercial experience." She deleted it, opened her sketchbook instead. Bills could wait. Art couldn't. The coffee shop hummed with its usual symphony. Espresso machines hissing, rain pattering against floor-to-ceiling windows, the soft murmur of people who could afford $8 lattes discussing things like quarterly projections and portfolio diversification. Maya had stopped listening to them months ago, but she'd started noticing him, the man who cleaned tables, mid-30s maybe, tall, broad-shouldered, moving through the crowd like a ghost. He wore a torn military jacket that had seen better decades, work boots held together with duct tape, and a gray beanie pulled low over dark eyes that seemed tired, bone-deep tired. He'd appeared about 2 weeks ago. The owner, Mr. Patterson, had introduced him as Marcus, helping out for tips. The staff treated him like furniture. Customers treated him worse. Maya had watched him work with quiet efficiency, collecting abandoned mugs, wiping down tables, never making eye contact. She'd left him a $5 tip once. He'd looked at it like she'd handed him a bar of gold. Today, the coffee shop was packed, Seattle's tech elite sheltering from the downpour, their Canada Goose jackets dripping onto Marcus's freshly mopped floors. He was cleaning near the entrance when it happened. A man in a charcoal Tom Ford suit, Maya recognized expensive fabric from her brief, miserable stint working at Nordstrom, backed up without looking. His Italian leather briefcase knocked over Marcus's yellow cleaning bucket. Dirty water flooded across the marble. "Jesus Christ!" The man jumped back. "Watch where you put that thing." Marcus immediately dropped to his knees. "I'm so sorry, sir. I'll clean it right away." "Back up, buddy. You smell like a dumpster." The lawyer, because of course he was a lawyer, Maya and see the King County Bar Association pin on his lapel, stepped away dramatically, wrinkling his nose. His colleague, an equally polished woman, laughed. God, they let anyone work here now? This place is becoming a liability. I'm seriously calling the health department. Marcus kept his head down, sopping up water with his rag. His hands were shaking. The lawyer pulled out his wallet, removed a $20 bill, held it between two fingers like it was contaminated. Here's $20, Chief. Buy some soap. Or better yet, buy a bus ticket out of Seattle. We're trying to revitalize this city, not turn it into Skid Row. He dropped the bill. It fluttered down, landing in the puddle of dirty water at Marcus's feet. People like you are why property values are tanking. The coffee shop had gone quiet. 40 people, 40 witnesses. Not one looked up from their phones. Maya's hands clenched around her coffee cup. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She thought about her mom, working 3 jobs when Maya was growing up, about every time someone had looked through her like she was invisible, about the last time she'd stood up for something and lost her job for it. $523.67. 3 days until rent. Just keep your head down, Maya. But Marcus was still on his knees, still scrubbing, and the lawyer was laughing, turning away, already forgetting the man he'd just humiliated. Maya stood up. Her chair scraped loudly against the floor. "Excuse me?" Her voice came out shakier than she wanted, but it came out. The lawyer turned, eyebrow raised. "Yes?" Maya's legs felt like water, but she walked toward him anyway, stopped 3 feet away. "He's a person with a name." She looked down at Marcus, really looked at him, and for just a second she saw something flicker in those tired eyes, something that didn't match the torn jacket and duct-taped boots, something sharp, intelligent, dangerous. Then it was gone. "What's your name?" Maya asked softly. Marcus stared at her. His throat worked. "Marcus," he finally whispered. She turned back to the lawyer. "His name is Marcus, and you're going to apologize." The lawyer laughed, actually laughed. "Apologize?" He looked around the coffee shop like he was addressing an audience. "To the help? Sweetheart, this isn't a Hallmark movie." Maya reached into her canvas bag. Her hands were still shaking, but her voice stayed steady. "Then I guess we're done talking." She pulled out her wallet, flipped it open. $500 bills, every cent she'd saved for the gallery submission, her last shot at getting her work seen by someone who mattered. Mom's medication, rent, your future. She pushed the voice down. "This is for Marcus," Maya said, holding out the money, "for cleaning up after people who've forgotten what decency looks like." The lawyer's smirk faltered. "You're giving him 500? And you—" Maya picked up his soggy 20 from the puddle, held it out to him between 2 fingers, mimicking his earlier gesture. "You can have this back. Buy yourself a conscience. I hear they're on sale." Someone in the back of the shop laughed, then someone else. The lawyer's face went crimson. "Do you know who I am? I'll have you thrown out?" Mr. Patterson, the manager, was already rushing over, phone in hand. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you're causing a disturbance." "I'm leaving." Maya pressed the money into Marcus's hand. His fingers were rough, calloused, working hands. But when she looked into his eyes, she saw something that made her breath catch. Recognition, gratitude, and something else. Something like regret? "You deserve better than this, Marcus," she said quietly. "I'm sorry, the world is so cruel." She walked out into the rain without her umbrella. Behind her, she heard the lawyer's voice, crazy bitch probably, and then Marcus's voice, different now, clearer. "You should leave, now." Maya didn't look back. The next morning, Maya woke to pounding on her apartment door. She stumbled out of bed, still in yesterday's paint-stained t-shirt, and peered through the peephole. A man in a black suit stood in her hallway. Behind him, visible through her grimy window, was a Mercedes S-Class with tinted windows. Maya's stomach dropped. Debt collectors? Already? She opened the door a crack, chain still attached. "Maya Chen?" The man's voice was professional, polite. "Who's asking?" He held out a cream-colored envelope, heavy cardstock. her name written in actual calligraphy. "I'm instructed to wait for your response." Maya took the envelope, closed the door, opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a single card. "Dinner, tonight, 7 p.m., canless. A car will collect you at 6:30. Please come. I owe you an explanation. M." Canless, the most exclusive restaurant in Seattle, the place where tech billionaires proposed and CEOs closed 9-figure deals, the place with a 6-month waiting list and a dress code that probably cost more than her rent. Maya opened the door again. "Who sent this?" The man's expression didn't change. "I'm instructed to wait for your response, Miss Chen." I can't afford." "Everything is arranged. The car, the meal. You need only to accept." Maya's mind raced. This was insane. This was how people got trafficked, murdered, thrown into the Puget Sound wearing concrete shoes. But "I owe you an explanation." Marcus, the janitor, the man with the tired eyes and the strange intelligence behind them. What the hell had she walked into yesterday? "If I say yes," Maya said slowly, "and this turns out to be some kind of trap, I want you to know I have pepper spray and a very loud scream." The corner of the man's mouth twitched, almost a smile. "Noted, Miss Chen. And I'm bringing my phone, with location sharing on. Wise." Maya looked down at the invitation again, the expensive paper, the perfect calligraphy, the sheer absurdity of it all. "You have $23 in your account. Mom needs her medication. You have nothing to lose. Except maybe her life, but at this point, what was the difference? "Tell M that I'll be ready at 6:30. The man nodded. "He'll be pleased." "Who is he?" But the man was already walking away, his footsteps silent on the stained hallway carpet. Maya closed the door, leaned against it, stared at the invitation. In 12 hours, she'd either have answers, or she'd become another unsolved disappearance in Seattle's gray waters. She looked at her closet, at the single black dress she owned, bought for her grandmother's funeral 3 years ago. "Well," Maya whispered to her empty apartment, "guess I'm going to Canlis." The Mercedes pulled up to Canlis at exactly 7 p.m. Maya stepped out in her funeral dress and $30 Target heels, feeling like an imposter. The restaurant perched on the hillside like a glass jewel box, Elliott Bay glittering below. Valets in actual white gloves waited at the entrance. "Ms. Chen?" A hostess appeared, smiling. "Right this way." They walked through the main dining room, crystal chandeliers, quiet conversations, the kind of wealth that didn't need to announce itself. Maya caught glimpses of her reflection in the mirrors, paint still under her fingernails, hair pulled into a messy bun because she didn't own a straightener anymore. What am I doing here? The hostess stopped at a private room overlooking the water, opened the door. Marcus sat at a table for 2, wearing a navy suit that probably cost more than her car. His hair was cut, his face shaved, but those eyes, still tired, still haunted, were the same. "Maya." He stood. "Thank you for coming." She didn't move from the doorway. "Who are you?" "Please, sit. I promise you're safe." "That's what people say right before you're not safe." A ghost of a smile. "Fair." He pulled out his phone, opened an app, showed her the screen. "This is the deed to the building where Common Grounds operates, and 47 other properties in Seattle. See the owner's name?" Maya squinted. "Marcus Ashford." "That's me." He pocketed the phone. "I'm not a janitor, Maya. I'm a real estate developer, worth about $2.3 billion, give or take a few million." The room tilted. Maya grabbed the doorframe. "The man who humiliated me yesterday," Marcus continued quietly, "his name is Richard Castellano. He's not really a lawyer. He's a contract killer. And he was there to finish a job that started 6 weeks ago." "What job?" "Killing me." Maya's laugh came out strangled. "This is insane. I'm leaving. My business partner tried to murder me." Marcus's voice cracked. Maya stopped. "Brandon Wells. We built Ashford Properties together. 10 years. I trusted him like a brother. He looked out at the dark water. 3 months ago, I found discrepancies in our accounts. $2.3 billion moved through shell companies. When I confronted him, Marcus pulled down his collar. A scar ran across his throat, still pink and healing. He hired someone to stage my suicide. Slit wrists in a bathtub. They almost succeeded. Maya's hand covered her mouth. I survived, barely. Went underground while I healed, gathered evidence, disguised myself as someone nobody would look at twice, a janitor, invisible. His jaw clenched. Brandon thinks I'm dead, has been systematically transferring my assets into his name. In 2 weeks, he finalizes a merger that will make him untouchable. Why are you telling me this? Marcus met her eyes. Because you didn't just give me money yesterday. You confronted Castellano, publicly. He reported back to Brandon, and now you're a loose end. The room went cold. They know who you are, Maya, where you live, and they think you might be important to me. But I'm not. They don't know that. Marcus leaned forward. I need to expose Brandon at his merger gala in 10 days, but I can't do it alone. I need someone he's never met, someone who can get close. You want me to spy? I want you to be my fiancé, just for one night. He slid an envelope across the table. There's $100,000 in there. Plus, I'll clear whatever debts you have. All I need is 10 days of your time. Maya stared at the envelope, at this stranger offering her a fortune. And if I say no? Then I'll arrange protection for you, but Brandon wins, and $2.3 billion in stolen money finances whatever empire he's building. Maya's phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Nice dress, black suits you, see you soon. Attached was a photo of her walking into Conlise, taken 5 minutes ago. Her blood turned to ice. Marcus saw her face. Maya? She showed him the phone. His expression darkened. They're already watching you, Maya. I'm sorry. You're in this now, whether you want to be or not. Maya looked at the envelope, at Marcus, at the text message that meant someone was out there, in the dark, with her in their crosshairs. Mom's medication, rent, your life. She picked up the envelope. Tell me everything, she whispered, and tell me how we destroy him. 10 days later, Maya stood in front of a full-length mirror wearing a gown that cost more than her annual rent. Midnight blue silk, off-shoulder, a single teardrop diamond at her throat, borrowed from Marcus's collection, insured for $400,000. You look perfect, Marcus said from the doorway. He wore a custom tuxedo, looking every inch the billionaire he was. Ready? Maya's hands trembled as she adjusted the diamond. To walk into a room full of people who want me dead? Sure, totally ready. He crossed to her, took her hands. Over the past 10 days, they'd spent hours together, preparing, strategizing, learning each other's tells and stories. And somewhere between the rehearsals and late-night planning sessions, something had shifted, something neither of them could afford. I won't let anything happen to you, Marcus said quietly. That's a promise you can't keep. Watch me. Ashford Tower's penthouse ballroom glittered with Seattle's elite. 300 guests, politicians, tech moguls, old money in new clothes. Brandon Wells stood at the center, silver-haired and charismatic, holding court like a king. He had announced this gala weeks ago, celebrating the merger between Ashford Properties and Wells Corporation, a merger built on Marcus's corpse. Maya's arm looped through Marcus's as they entered. Heads turned. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Is that Marcus Ashford? I thought he was dead. Brandon's champagne glass froze halfway to his lips, his face drained of color. Hello, Brandon, Marcus's voice carried across the room. Surprised? Before Brandon could respond, a woman in a red gown cut through the crowd. Blonde, beautiful, dripping in diamonds. Marcus, her voice was ice. You're alive. Maya felt Marcus tense. Victoria, he said carefully. Victoria Hartwell, the name from Marcus's file, old Seattle money, philanthropist, and according to the society pages Maya had studied, your fiancé, Victoria finished, looking at Maya with venomous smile. How unexpected, since I'm supposed to be wearing that title. Maya's stomach dropped. Marcus had mentioned Victoria, but said they'd broken up months ago. We ended things, Marcus said. You know that. Did we? Victoria stepped closer. Or did you just disappear? Poor Marcus, so paranoid, so convinced Brandon was stealing from you. She glanced at Brandon, and Maya caught it. A look, brief, coordinated. Oh God, you're working together, Maya whispered. Victoria's smile widened. Brandon offered me something better than marriage to a paranoid has-been. He offered me an empire. The crowd had gone silent, sensing blood. Brandon stepped forward, recovering his composure. Marcus, you should have stayed dead. Tonight, I'm announcing my acquisition of Ashford Properties, your company, your legacy, all mine. Funny thing about acquisitions, Marcus said calmly. He pulled out his phone, held it up. The screen showed a live stream, broadcasting to every guest's phone in the room. They require legal ownership, which you don't have. He tapped the screen. Financial records flooded the display. Transactions, shell companies, wire transfers, every piece of evidence he'd gathered for 6 weeks. This is you, Brandon, embezzling $2.3 billion from our company, hiring Richard Castellano to kill me and framing it as suicide. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Brandon's face twisted. You can't prove. I just did, to everyone here, and to the FBI agents waiting downstairs. Victoria lunged for Maya. You stupid bitch! Marcus moved faster, putting himself between them. Don't. The penthouse doors burst open. FBI, nobody move. Agents flooded in. Brandon tried to run. 3 agents tackled him. Victoria screamed as they cuffed her, her designer gown tearing. Phones flashed, cameras rolled, Seattle's biggest scandal unfolding in real time. Maya stood in the center of it all, watching Marcus's empire crumble and rebuild simultaneously. He found her in the chaos. You okay? She nodded, unable to speak. They'd won. But at what cost? 3 days after the gala, Maya sat across from Marcus in his office. Between them, a cashier's check for $100,000 and a contract. Chief Creative Officer of the Ashford Foundation for Emerging Artists, Marcus said. $5 million annual budget. Full creative control. Your dream job, Maya. She stared at the papers. At the salary, $250,000 a year. At the signature line waiting for her pen. Everything she'd ever wanted. I can't accept this, she said quietly. Marcus blinked. What? I helped you because it was the right thing to do, not for a reward. Maya pushed the contract back. If we're going to have something real, and I think maybe we could, it can't start with you being my boss or my savior. Maya, this isn't charity, isn't it? She stood. You're offering me a job I'm not qualified for at a salary I don't deserve because you feel guilty or grateful or maybe something else. Her voice softened. But I don't need you to save me, Marcus. I need you to see me as an equal, not as the poor artist you rescued. She picked up the $100,000 check. This? We had a deal. I keep this. But the rest? She touched the contract. I have to earn this on my own, or it means nothing. Marcus stared at her. Then, slowly, he smiled. A real smile, maybe the first she'd seen from him. You're extraordinary, he whispered. I'm broke and stubborn. Same thing. He stood. So what now? Maya walked to the door. Stopped. Now, you figure out who Marcus Ashford really is, and I figure out who Maya Chen can become. And maybe, in a few months, if we're both still interested, you can buy me coffee. At Common Grounds? She laughed. God, no. Somewhere we can both afford. Maya's art exhibition opening was packed. 27 paintings sold, her phone buzzing with gallery requests. She'd done it, on her own terms. "Excuse me." She turned. Marcus stood there in jeans and a t-shirt. No suit, no billionaire armor, just a man holding 2 coffee cups. "I owe you a coffee," he said, "if the offer still stands." Maya took a cup, their fingers brushed. "No bodyguards? No drivers?" "Left them home. Thought we could try that equals thing you mentioned." "Dangerous." "I've done dangerous before," he smiled. "Turned out pretty well." They walked out together into the Seattle rain. 1 year later, they'd be engaged, for real this time. Marcus would step back from his empire, focusing on foundations. Maya would buy Common Grounds, turning it into an artist co-op. And the first person she'd hire? Mr. Patterson, the manager who'd banned her. Because everyone deserves a second chance, even the people who don't see us, especially them. Did this story inspire you? Drop a comment telling me about a time you stood up for someone, or wish you had. And if you believe kindness can change everything, hit that like button and share this story. Because somewhere out there, someone needs to hear that standing up for what's right, even when it costs you everything, is always worth it.